I have the privilege of giving some concluding remarks for the presentation section of the program. And before I do, I just want to express my gratitude to all the speakers, some of whom went to great lengths to travel to get here. The quality of the presentations has been just incredible, and the level of expertise that we have gathered here is just really fantastic. I have been so moved and inspired by all the presentations that we've had. And I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all my colleagues, especially to Danny, who did the heavy lifting for this whole program. So thank you to everyone who helped make it possible. And I want to thank all the participants for joining. I'm so grateful for your interest and your attention today. Thank you so much. So as Danny likes to say, I want to give a few reflections on the conference. And I think that as compassionate human beings, we all want the animals to be well treated. And through the presentations today and yesterday, we can see the advancing science and practice of animal welfare. Like any other business, animal production changes with innovation and knowledge and technical advances. And we're seeing new thinking being incorporated into animal production systems around the world. As the science evolves, it's taking us beyond simply the prevention of suffering, but is demonstrated by the presentations we have seen into the realm of quality of life for the animals. Animal welfare is more than simply healthy animals producing well. It's providing for positive experiences and mental states as well. According to the World Organization for Animal Health and the text agreed by 182 member countries, animal welfare is the physical and mental state of an animal. As we have seen, there is now a whole body of scientific work to support widening animal welfare into the investigation of positive mental and emotional states. And as chapter 7.1 further elaborates, an animal experiences good welfare if the animal is healthy and comfortable and well-nourished and safe and able to express behavior that is important for its physical and mental state. And we saw many examples of putting these themes into practice during the morning sessions and during the afternoon discussions. We heard that domesticated animals retain the basic behavior of their wild counterparts, even when we keep them in captivity. We heard that when they display abnormal stereotypic behavior, that's the sign of stress in an inadequate environment. We heard that animals need environmental enrichment. We heard that pigs feel pain and that they're motivated, highly motivated to build a nest. We heard from several speakers that we don't have to keep sows in narrow stalls anymore, that we can do better, we can keep them in group housing. We learned, and this was fascinating, that piglets learn feed preferences from their litter mates. Animal behavior science is amazing and new things are coming out all the time. We heard that early weaning is stressful, and we heard that it's important to keep pigs safe from disease. So given the information we heard from the experts over the last 2 days, what does it mean to implement the World Organization for Animal Health chapter on the welfare of pigs? To me, it means that we have to provide an enriched, interesting, comfortable environment with plenty of space. It means providing freedom for the animals to move, to make choices, and to express key natural behavior. It minimizes abnormal behavior because the animal's behavioral needs are met. It means finding ways to eliminate the pain from routine procedures such as castration. It means longer weaning intervals, and it means healthy animals kept safe from injury, disease, and distress. A high welfare farm has pork buyers who are proud to showcase the conditions for animals and their supply chains. And this is how we bring home the scientific and technical information consolidated in this conference. By raising the bar for animal welfare, it opens the door to market opportunities. In the Americas, the market for high animal welfare products is growing. We're seeing major brand names paying more attention to being good corporate citizens, and they're starting to include animal welfare in their responsible sourcing policies. We're seeing restaurants, grocery markets, hotels, cruise lines, quick service restaurants, food service companies, and many others making public commitments to improve animal welfare. For example, Carrefour, a brand known around the world, says that animals are considered sentient beings. They can express emotions such as fear and can feel pain. Carrefour has been committed to improving animal welfare in its supply chains for several years. Nestle says that they are committed to improving farm animal welfare across global supply chains. They share consumer, civil society, government, and investor concerns about the care, health, and welfare of farm animals used in food production. And Costco says this is not only the right thing to do, but also an important moral and ethical obligation we owe to our members, suppliers, and most of all to the animals we depend on for products sold at Costco. Financial institutions are beginning to take heed as well. We're starting to see sustainability-linked loans include animal welfare requirements, and investors are more mindful than ever about poor animal welfare as a material risk. For instance, the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board, who has global standards that guide investors on financially material sustainability information of companies, now has identified crate confinement as reasonably likely to affect the financial performance of a company. They state, companies that are prepared to anticipate or adapt to eliminating the use of gestation crates may be able to increase their market share by capturing this changing demand and being the first to market products that comply. Food companies and investors are taking heed. Trade opportunities are also starting to incorporate animal welfare. The free trade agreement between Chile and the European community includes animal welfare, referencing the World Organization for Animal Health codes. It states, given the importance of animal welfare, with the aim of developing animal welfare standards and given its relation with veterinary matters, it is appropriate to include this issue in the EU-Chile Free Trade Agreement. So only producers who can meet the internationally agreed standard will be positioned to take advantage of the opportunities afforded by trade agreements. However, animal welfare isn't really about financial gain. We do it because, like food safety, it's simply the right thing to do. So for those of you online, as you sign off for the day, and for those of you here in person, as you enter the final discussion this afternoon, think about next steps. Consider how you will use the information and the connections you are making here to keep the momentum going. Don't simply go home and forget. Now is the time to act. So my call to action is this. If you are a producer, take steps to implement the chapter as presented in the conference. But the rest of us must well recognize that producers cannot do it alone. It will take the support of all stakeholders working together. So to everyone else, I call on you to support the producers attending here in person and joining remotely to make the transition. Think of it this way, if you are in government, what support can you work to provide, financial, technical, or otherwise? If you are a corporation buying pork, what support can you provide to producers with purchasing agreements that give room for the added cost of animal welfare? And if you are in research, how will you help find practical solutions? If you are a financial institute, how will you provide low-cost loans, or how can you guide investments in high welfare projects? And at Humane Society International, we are devoted to supporting producers as well. We are here to facilitate connections, to bring you the leading scientific expertise, and to collaborate in whatever way we can to support the transition. So I'll just end by saying that with the advancing science, we know so much more about the behavior and the cognition of animals than we have ever known before. And every time we look deeper into the biology of the animals, we find more evidence that they're far more complex and sentient than we ever imagined. And we have to take this into account. So with that, I would like to thank you all for joining this pivotal gathering of experts. And thank you to everyone who joined online and stayed with us through the morning. And for those of you attending in person, I'm very much looking forward to the discussions this afternoon. Thank you.